Well, welcome back to the shop build. As you can see here, we got a roof on, or at least a portion of the roof framed out. So this video is going to be about the delivery and the install of the trusses, how that process went, as well as all the sheeting and what it takes to get to this point for the sheeting. This video is also going to include the fascia, the barge rafter, what it takes, all the overhangs for that, the framing for it anyhow, and a whole lot more. Yeah, so join me on this process to all about the framing and about the roof. This is what it's about. So as you can see in the background here, we are using the zip wall system. That's something new to me and something I wanted to try out. So here we are. So let's join this process and see from the beginning till now how we're gonna do it. Well, we're gonna be setting trusses today. Some of the things that we did that you're not gonna be seeing on the video is we finished doing the sheeting up around the top out here on the gable end. We ran the sheeting up wild with and we installed these strong backs, so that stiffens up the wall, makes it nice and plumb. I wanted to actually do it this way. There's different ways. Some people will sheet it and tilt them up and just overlap like 1.5 inches for the sheeting onto the double top plate, but I wanted to run it on by, just figured it's stronger, that sort of thing. Something else, all your walls on both sides, because the trusses are going this way, so that'd be east and west, you need to have some sort of bracing so that wall is nice and straight, nice and rigid. That way when you're moving trusses around, your trusses aren't zigzagging kind of back and forth. So as you can see, we did that. We put a string line going from end to end, making sure it's nice and straight. And the other side is the same way. We got sheeting over there, or excuse me, braces over there. So you can see we added a bunch more braces here as well and finished running the sheeting up as well. So on the inside, we got a diagonal brace. I ended up putting one that has a turnbuckle on it, and that way we can push this in and out. The string line, you can actually, if you can see, is still there going across. So we made sure that is nice and straight, which it is. So now that this is a rigid wall, our plan is that this is going to be the last truss that goes up against here. A lot of times this is the first truss, so get it all so like you'd have the whole bundle over to one side, and then the gable ends you'd lay down, sheet it, and then tilt it up, brace it off, and all that sort of thing. So we got options. We could, my plan is actually have the whole bundle right here, and then one at a time dragging it out over to this side and then building back this way. That's the plan. If we decided to change and have the whole bundle over there, we can do the gable end first, but then we'd have to keep, you know, I'd feel more comfortable kicking it off so it doesn't want to tilt out of plumb slightly. So this is why I want to do this last for additional kickers and things like that. Other things that we got ready, we got a scaffold. It's a rolling scaffold here. My plan was to have a scissor lift, but that fell through, so I might end up grabbing another few sections of scaffold and building another section for this side over here, and that way we can have somebody working this side pushing the tails over, have somebody over here pushing the tails over. We got somebody on the boom lift, they can push it over, nail it, brace it off, and all that good stuff. So that's what I think I'm going to do right now, spend the time, because we got about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours before trusses get here. So pre-planning, getting that ready, I think it's going to help speed the process of install up. So all right, so we got our trusses from the truss company, ready to go. We're getting ready to rig it all up. The plan is we're gonna fly this up. We're gonna land it right here. Right here is where it matters a whole lot to have the right equipment to get in place. Here the fit was just right. It set in place. This is one of 2 bundles that we're gonna be sitting, making sure that you're all nice and safe and tied off. You can also pay extra to have the truss company set a 1 truss at a time. This does speed up the spreading out the trusses, but it also increases the cost of like a crane time. So that is something that you have to work out ahead of time and pre-plan with the truss company so that they have that worked into their schedule for that allotted amount of time. It probably would have only taken us probably an hour or 2 setting all of them if we use the truck, the crane to set them. But for us, we decided we wanted to spread them out ourselves. So as you're gonna see here in just a minute, once we get them all kicked off so that they're good and solid and they won't fall over, then we're gonna spread them out one at a time. You can see down on the right side, we have a stick. It has 2 U-shaped gussets. And so one person on the bottom and, with a nice handle reaching all the way to the floor, they can actually help hold it plumb. So when the lift gets moved from one side to the other, that it's not gonna roll over. So we found that this for us was the safest, best way to spread out the trusses. So once we get it over into position, then we have a kicker from the existing wall or to the other wall rather, where we're gonna nail the top in place. We'll nail the bottoms in place, 3 nails on each side. And then here you can see where we got 4 already set, and the 2x4 on top is kind of the spreader. It keeps us on our on-center spacing. We'll get like 1 more, 2 more, and then we're gonna start putting in diagonal bracing on the bottom cord. And then we'll also put on top of the top cord for the diagonal bracing. It helps with our spacing, but it also helps keep things, when the wind's pushing against things, it's not gonna collapse the whole ceiling. So it keeps the shear value of it. And then once we start doing sheeting, then those temporary bracing is gonna get pulled off. So right about here is when the lift starts to die. It's not holding charge quite so well, so it's probably gonna need some new batteries here pretty soon. So we ended up having to build another scaffold, rolling scaffold. So we'll roll along and then we'll use the boom lift just for the top last section and get it nailed off in place. So we're trying to use it as minimum as we can at this point, just to conserve the battery. It is plugged in. It's not gas powered, so it works out for most things, but this is just what we got to do. So here you can see I'm putting in the diagonal bracing on top of the bottom cord. All right, as you can see, yesterday we got all the trusses installed. So it took a long process. There was about 4 of us at different times, and we ended up having to get build 2 scaffolds, which worked out pretty darn good. The lift just kept dying on us. Wouldn't hold as long of a charge, so probably needs new batteries. But we were able to get them all out, and as we were shagging them out, you can start seeing on the surface we had diagonal bracing that we were putting in. That's really critical for keeping your spacing. It's critical for shear of things kind of moving back and forth, and all that sort of thing. So all those are going to stay on. They're temporary. They're going to stay on until we put sheeting on. So here's kind of another look at it. Here's our diagonal bracing. So once we start doing our sheeting, those will all go away. There are certain ones that you're required to do on the inside. We haven't installed those yet. There's some diagonal bracing going from the double top plate. I had a 45 going up, spaced 6 feet on center. So we'll do that in the next couple days. And then also, depending on the height of your gable, you might have to have diagonal bracing at mid-span. So that I will have to do because it's tall enough. It's 5'10" tall to the peak. So today what we're going to be focusing in on is cutting out this gable and putting in our outriggers. Okay, once we got our outriggers on, we're going to put on the barge rafter, working on the tails, the vent blocking, and then we can work on sheeting. So we're trying to get everything best we can to the point where we can put sheeting in as quick as we can, because you know it's starting to get into the late fall and or early fall and we got rain coming, so we're trying to beat that at this point right now. So some other things that comes to mind that you need to consider when you're doing your trusses and spread them out. As we were setting them out, we were putting in 2x4s. So this bottom cord, I have some diagonal bracing here. That all is going to get nailed and they're going to stay. This is a catwalk, rat run. There's a couple other names, but that is 2x4 going parallel. That's going to keep our spacing of our bottom cord. That stays. It goes all the way to the end here. So yeah, we're going to get that in. That'll be at some point. Not super critical to do right at the moment, but soon as we can, we're going to be getting that in as well. They need a lap. If they do lap, they need to lap at least 2 bays. Yeah, so let's start trimming these outside gable, getting ready for outriggers, and going from there. All right, so we're up here on the roof and up in the boom lift, and we're just making sure everything's tacked to our strong backs. Got some blocking I'm gonna take out, and then I'll work down there, and we're gonna start routering out the routering off the plywood. But when I go to router, I want these out of the way, so that's pretty cool. I got my neighbor, and it's an Oregon Ducks fan with a Volkswagen Bug. That's pretty awesome. Today's game day. So you can hopefully you're not getting too seasick from this is kind of what it's like as being in a lift. Something else about this gable end truss is it's not held down 1.5 inches like I wanted it to. So I wanted to be able to just cut it, nail on my outriggers, and then nail in blocking in between. So since it's not like that, now I got to notch them and then add a nailer on the end. Not quite what I want, but I'll make do. That's how we do it. So back here, while I'm here, I will just nail that up and move on, or wait till I'm all done. Anyway, what's that? What'd you say? Oh, that's right. Let's wait till we're all done. All right, fine. Hey, Macy girl. Morning. Since I'm right here, I'm going to nail it. Nails I'm going to use is an 8-penny nail. And hi. Look at that, baby. And they're going to the tailgate. You're gonna do the tailgate. Here's our strip of nails. 22 degrees. Excuse me, 21 degrees. What am I thinking? That's the angle that they're at. And when you're picking your nails, they're all different angles, so just be aware of that too. So along this perimeter, we should do our layout first. So nails I need to. So this outside edge of framing, not sheeting, I plumbed up. I made a mark. So what I'm doing is laying out for my outriggers. And then I came down 2 foot. I'm gonna be doing a 2-foot overhang straight on the diagonal. And then I came back 1.5 inches and I actually made both marks. One at 2 foot, that's the outside of my fascia. One's 1.5 inches back. That's gonna be for the thickness of my fascia because I'm gonna be using a 2x6 SPF with the rough side out. Always rough side out, that's just the finish side. Yeah, so when I cut it, I'm gonna cut it 1.5 inches back and then I'm gonna add that fascia back on and then maintaining that 2-foot overhang. So from that point there, I measured up 4 foot and I marked the center and then 1.75 inches each way because that's a 2x4. And then I'm gonna come down 1.5 inches and that's what's gonna get marked or get cut out. And I'm marking that my outriggers, laying that out so when I'm nailing, I don't have nails right in my way. So plus it needs to be done. And then from that center, I decided to go 2 foot on center to my outriggers. Just 2-foot overhang, 2x4s flat. Just gonna be stronger the closer they are. I mean, you could probably be a little bit further out, like 4 foot, honestly, but that's just not what I want for this. So, and I got the material, so that's what I'm gonna do. Finish laying some of these out, nail it as I go. So we got that one, and we're gonna have one more up here that I can reach for now. The first one I'm not gonna notch. I guess in this case I could because it's a 2x6, but it's out here on the edge and that's not necessary. So that's typical. There might be one that you might see on a roof, but it'd be a fake one. It's just like in between here. So, which I could do that too after I get my barge rafter on. Let's get to nailing. Okay. Then I gotta figure out where those studs are, gable studs. After that, I notch those out. Let's see, coming up. Let's see, these are, I don't have any studs there. Stud is here. And they are Okay, here, I don't have anything, but I do need to mark. If I went straight down where my plate is. 22 inches to the top. That's the top of it, so I just need let's go down. So here's my board. So you can see, got all those outriggers, lookouts on, and I measured from framing to here 24 inches. Came back inch and a half because that's what the thickness of our barge rafter is going to be. And I snapped a line. I got most of them all cut except for these last three. So set up. Here we're installing the fascia board. It's a 2x6 SPF, like I said before. Oliver's up on one of the rolling scaffolds. I'm out here on the boom lift. And that outside corner is a mitered corner. Something that you want to make sure you're doing when you are doing this, where the two boards come together. Make sure you're using a scarf joint. That's a 45 and a receiving 45-degree angle, so that for any sort of movement or twist, it stays tight. Also, something that was on here, all those vent blocking that you can kind of see just below or just above the fascia board. There's some vent blocking. Those we got from the truss company. They got screens on it, and they're in every single bay. So making sure that that's in, nailed, 3 nails on each end or each side. That's just part of also with the blocking for the set of plans that the engineer and the architect called for. Now we're starting the install of the sheathing. So here you can see I'm tied off. Something to be really careful with, because it's so easy to slip and fall when you have this rope grab. That's the type of fall protection that I'm using right now. Just being real mindful and careful. Slow movements. Don't speed up. Don't go fast. Having a little bit of help, is going to be helpful. Oliver, he's got the platform down below it. Same with George. So that's why they're doing that where they're at. Once I get a few of these staggered sheets, making sure that you're staggering your sheets, of course, your seams, you're having to remove the diagonal bracing. Do not remove them until you're within distance to remove it. You remove too many of them, it could cause the whole roof structure to kind of rack. So just being mindful of that, pull them off as you need it. Well, as you can see here, we got this whole side all done, except for the last foot of sheeting up on top. We'll end up doing that last. We're gonna work on the other side. So Got it all nailed off 100%. It's 1/2 inch sheeting. It's a zip wall system. Something to keep in mind, you need to have an 1/8 inch joint in between where it butts together. So I'm going to come back with the saw and actually run my saw blade up it to relieve it. So when it swells, it's not buckling everything everywhere. There is H clips up there, so they'll have a little bit of a gap. It's designed to actually butt, but up there on the sheeting, have an H clip. It really matters to help with that deflection of one sheet to the next. They kind of deflect together. So even though it's a 1/2 inch, it still needs to have those H clips. You'll find that some people say it doesn't have it or need it, but if you don't have it and you need it, because when you're destroying your sheeting, your shingles when you sheet it, and then you'll regret not putting it in. So now's the time to do that. So the other side's what's left. The things that we took care of was we ran a string line all the way across, and then put in the birds blocking, the vent blocking, and then also from this outside barge to the outside barge is the 45. We the back side of that 45, we snapped a line all the way across and we cut them straight. So there's the last probably 10 or so I still got to cut. You probably maybe see that, but the rest of them are nice and straight. So you cut those after your barge rafters are installed. So that's done. Now we're ready to throw up this fascia up here, get it nailed off, and then work on sheeting. So yeah, it's looking pretty good.
Well, I was busy getting up here.
So using galvanized nails, make sure you're playing it out.
My butt hurts.
Alright, so you're going to start working it up. Up there, Chris. More. There we go. Okay, go down with it. No bunch. Right there. Sorry, what's that?
This thing just all over the place.
That's good. This thing whines, I can't hear nothing. So we're working up and down until it's nice and straight on everything. Go ahead and turn that off, George. Alright, so here we got our second piece. Something you want to make sure you're not doing is it's not a butt joint, it's a scarf joint. So you can see it's a 45, and I got a receiving 45 here. You ready there, Chris?
Yep.
Let's hold it up there on this edge. So that helps with the twisting action that it naturally wants to do. Flush here, flush on the bottom. And then you're nailing through the tube. Like that. Now, that's good. See, can you go up a little bit, Chris? Whoop, right. There you go. Down a little. All right, there, perfect. All right, go down with it. Down, 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 right, down, right. There. All right, so Chris is over there working it up and down to make sure it planes out, because it's never perfect, but this helps kind of twist the tails and make it line up. And working out here on the lift.
Got about 8 seconds left of tape. 4.
Turn it off. Well, that just about wraps up this video for the roof framing. We spread the trusses, all the diaphragm framing for it, the diagonal bracing for the 2x4s inside, and what it takes for the trusses, and all the overhangs, at least on one side anyhow, installing the outlooks, or there's also another name is outriggers. Or excuse me, not outlooks, lookouts, or the outriggers. The fascia, trimming it all up, the blocking, and making, you can get a view of the H clips here, the spacing between the joints, and the zip wall system, and you know how I used it. Something else that I didn't really get a good view of this is every sheet I have it on a 6 and 12 on center or less. Nail spacing with 8-penny nails. The nice thing about the zip wall system, they do have spacing that I can use as a guide for my nailing and that sort of thing. Next thing we got is tape sealing and trimming some of the joints just to make sure we got an 1/8 inch space between where they butt. And you know, so be looking forward to that on the next video. So, but that's about it for this one. As you can see, I am tied off. Using a boom lift is super helpful, so I would highly recommend that for safety when possible. Some things to pay attention to on your future projects is think about safety and what you're going to do and how you're going to do it ahead of time, so you have all the gear necessary. So we were using rope grab here. That's one system, and you know, a retractable would be another, which would be nice as well. So be thinking of those things when you're out there. Be safe, and like always, enjoy the process, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.